So old, man.
I gotta cut the grass still, bro.
Oh, I already got my yard work done this weekend.
Oh, I gotta do mine's
Yeah, no,
probably
you
Saturday.
tripping.
Probably Saturday. I was out, you know what I mean? But we back at it though. We back at it.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome back, nerds, to another episode of New Block Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Chris, aka Prince, with the homie Darron, aka Meta Grizzly. Darron, how we doing, bro?
I'm back. I'm happy to be back, man. How y'all feeling
Yeah,
today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. Sorry, listeners, if you guys were checking in last week. Darron and I had to take a little hiatus. We had some personal stuff we had to take care of, but we are back. Here to catch up, let you guys know our thoughts on all the latest news and nerddom. We had a couple trailers drop last couple of weeks. We're not going to get to all the new trailers, but I know Guardians dropped several weeks ago. The Marvels dropped, Blue Beetle, and we got a teaser for the Penguin HBO Max series, which I'm very excited to think about or to talk about.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of stuff dropping. Obviously, we know we're going to get like a new Flash trailer soon. I feel like the comic book world is like really starting to like pick up right now. Like there's a lot of stuff dropping, a lot of things being put into production. So of these four, which one are you most excited for so far between Guardians, the Marvels, Blue Beetle, and Penguin?
All right, so this is like 1A type thing, like A1, A2 type thing, because movie wise, Blue Beetle is showing some fire. I can't lie, it's showing some true potential. But TV wise, the Penguin's like showing me the Godfather type atmosphere, and I can't wait to see that, bro. I cannot wait. So I was a split right there. It'd be a split. What about you?
No, I would honestly, I would agree with you. I mean, my Batman bias is well known. It's well documented.
Yeah.
But objectively speaking, I feel like the Penguin TV series has the opportunity to do something that's just like so unprecedented. Like, I don't know, have we ever had with all these streaming platforms, have we ever had a TV show that follows a villain? Well, I guess we have Loki.
Technically speaking, if you consider CW did a Penguin one type Batman, their own little Batman universe. But
I don't consider CW in anything.
We don't count those. This is the first one where I think the money is truly behind it. And boy, man.
It looks great.
But let's talk about that last one. Let's talk about that last one.
Yeah.
So which one's about first?
Yeah, we'll touch on Penguin last. So the first trailer we want to kind of jump into dropped a couple weeks ago, Guardians of Galaxy 3. So I've never really been a huge fan of Guardians. Like, they're cool. Okay. I like them. But this trailer really intrigues me because it I don't know, it makes you feel like, it makes you feel like this is the end of the road for them. Like this, like there's going to be some deaths here. Mm-hmm. Not just like they're going to ride off into the sunset. So I don't know, like, did you get that same kind of like feeling in the trailer?
Absolutely. My first note I wrote down on Guardians of Galaxy 3 was the last ride. First thing I thought about. Now, of course, it's a lot of like real personal issues that were happening between Batista and Marvel and James Gunn and his departure / still working with Marvel with Guardians of the Galaxy. This movie's been like, I feel like it's been dragging for years. Like, it should have been out like 2 years ago. And Adam Warlock being a part of this, I'm excited, but at the same time, it's like, if it's gonna be the last bang, what's the point, right? And then but I will say it's gonna be funny. I think it's gonna be really funny. Like when Drax had the ball, hit the little kid, the alien. I started backing up right away when I saw that. But I think they're gonna disperse. People are gonna die, bro. Like, it's gonna be no more after this.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I mean, like, there's all those little implications in the trailer, even with Rocket saying something along the lines of, we're all gonna float away into the sky, and Drax talking about how he's so happy to fight with his friends one more time, and even just like the music, just the overall feel of the trailer made it seem like, all right, these folks are not long for the world. And like, knowing what we know about Adam Warlock, I don't know how many of you listeners are up on your Adam Warlock comics, but he's kind of a savage, and I don't think this is going to be one of those fights that they can actually win. Like, it's not going to be like how do we beat him? It's going to be, how do we get away from him? because there's not going to be any beating him. So I don't know. I know obviously you know a lot about Adam Warlock and the High Evolutionary, who's also playing a role in this movie, who's going to be kind of the big bad. Like, what are your thoughts on some of these characters, and if this is the last chapter in the Guardians, like if we're not going to see them in future MCU films, like where they're taking some of these characters, like moving forward.
So the cool thing about the Guardians then versus other teams is this is only one team of the Guardians. So there will be more Guardian movies, but it won't be the same roster. There's plenty of comics with the Gladiator. There's a comic with Iron Man actually being a part of the Guardian Galaxy. So Thor can be a part of the Guardian Galaxy. So it doesn't have to be just the core we have. I'm pretty sure Adam Warlock and everything, the team, they are the kings of the sky and space and everything. Someone's getting bodied. There is no question about it. There will be, at the end of it, someone will be cry. I hope Rocket lives, though, because Rocket is a freaking man. But I'm just looking at this being everybody as far as the cast, as far as the writers. Everyone's like, we did our thing, Marvel, for the past 20 years. We're good to go. We did our part. Goodbye. And that's what I feel like this film is going to end up tying in. I don't know where they're going to go after this. It might be one of those films where we might not see another Guardian Galaxy film for at least 5 or 6 years. And it's okay. It's okay. It'll be a brand new team, and I think that would be a good thing for it. A fresh start.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, again, this is movie number 3. We saw it with Thor. Like, you don't necessarily need to keep making these. I don't think Thor: Love and Thunder did the Thor franchise any favors. So I kind of feel the same way with like Guardians. You know, if this is the end of the story that you guys had planned out for the arc of, you know, the Guardians of the Galaxy, let this be it and let them ride off into the sunset, you know, proverbially. I don't think we need to. I think Marvel is kind of like in a transition period where they're, you know, the fallout of Endgame is we're still feeling those effects of, you know, trying to pick up the pieces, like where all the Avengers are, and, you know, kind of, you know, they're all in disarray, and, you know, we're introducing a bunch of new characters. And so I feel like it's going to be a while before we get back to, you know, your regular routine team up movie films, because everyone's so dispersed and no one really knows anyone. You know, and again, like I said, you know, we got all these different characters, which, you know, we'll talk about the Marvels in a second. So it's like, you know, you kind of can't make another Avengers movie right this second, because you gotta build back up to having another team and having all these different characters start converging in on each other.
And it definitely feels like the Guardians are like the upperclassmen. Like everyone has already graduated. They were held back, and that they should have just graduated everybody else and just kept it moving, because it's new wave and they don't fit. They just don't fit at all. Like, even the Marvels are going to be, which will be the next one we talk about. I feel like they are like the new wave of the Guardian Galaxy. Like, they fit with this unknown direction of Marvel, what they're doing. We've already seen the Galaxy, chasing the stones, everything else. Like, they did their part. I need Batista and DC. That's what I want to see. Yes.
Yeah. I think just given him and James Gunn's personal relationship, I feel like now that Guardians is going to be done.
Yeah.
James Gunn definitely has. He definitely has an idea for, like, okay, obviously I want to have Batista in this somewhere, without getting too off topic, because I feel like we have to address this now.
Yeah, but I know. Just say
who in DC?
I'm sorry. There's 2 people, and no matter, I'm gonna surprise you. I'm not gonna say Bane.
I mean, Bane is the obvious choice.
Bane's the obvious choice, but I want to see him as Sully and Grundy. I want to see him as Grundy. I want to see Grundy in DC.
Grundy was number 2 for me.
I feel like he will freaking what? Batista and Grundy. That's him. The whole vibe. Yes.
Also too, I feel like Batista has underrated, like, comedic chops. Yes. Where I feel like the way that Solomon Grundy talks in the comics, I really feel like some of his delivery with some of those lines could be really, really, really interesting. So yeah, I mean, obviously Bane, like, with like the classic comic book mask and like the Venom, and I think he was made for that role. But if not Bane, because that's a little bit too obvious, I like Solomon Grundy.
Maybe I'm just being biased to Tom Hardy. I want them to bring Tom Hardy back as Bane, but inside of this universe.
They're not going to do that.
I know. That's me being biased.
I feel it.
I know.
Yeah. But anyways, before we get too off topic, I do want to
Marvels?
segue into the Marvels.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into it, people have kind of like talked about this for a while about now that there's streaming services and some of the TV shows tie into the movies. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think, and obviously we don't know what the story is yet, but do you think that if people didn't watch Miss Marvel, are they going to be lost at all with the Marvels? Because I mean, you got to remember, like Photon is in this as well too, and she was in the WandaVision
Yes.
television series, right? So if you didn't watch those two series, you may not know who these people are.
I would say this. Monica, of course, in full time, which was in, she played a very good part. I'm looking forward to seeing her in a bigger role. Khan, I actually enjoyed that series. I know a lot of people did not. They didn't care for it. It might be a thing where it's a woman's series. I don't want to watch it type thing. Some of the series are actually pretty decent. It was more like the baton holder. It didn't like raise the bar or anything, but it kept it afloat.
Right.
Um, I don't think they need to watch these shows to understand what's going on. I think that's why Nick Fury is a part of this film, because you need to have another big name part of it. But I think once the film is over, people are going to go back and revisit those things because
Right.
they're going to want to know like a little more about it. I think Khan, Monica, those two are going to bring more attention to the Marvels because of POC. I mean, like having a different flavors inside of it and their acting ability as far as having like a female crew in space and Nick Fury and having the family involved with it. I'm looking forward to that. I am. It's like
Yeah.
probably my least favorite of all these people here, of all the trailers we have, but I'm still looking forward to it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I would say it's probably my least favorite of
Mm-hmm.
the four trailers we're talking about today too. That's not a knock on it because I do think there were some really good things about the trailer. I feel like where we left off with Miss Marvel at the end of her TV series, when she kind of, I guess she switches places with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So obviously they're leaning into that, and we're gonna start getting an explanation for why this is happening. I think a lot of it has to do with, and this is where I think they're gonna start converging some of these characters together, because I
Mm-hmm.
think them switching places obviously has something to do with the incursions that are
Yes.
going on with the multiverse travel. Because in her TV series, Kamala Khan, I mean, she was traveling through time, was she not? Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
so we've seen in the past, when you travel through time, you create different branches and
Mm-hmm.
different, multiverses, and obviously there's a lot of consequences that come with that. So I'm excited to see like how they're going to expand
Mm-hmm.
on this problem that the MCU is having, where like people are starting to dabble in the multiverse,
Yeah.
whether directly or indirectly, whether they know it or not. And that it's obviously it's going to have some consequences because we know who's out there.
And and that's the thing about it. I feel like now we're gonna like, I don't know. I'm not saying this will be like a second version like a Marvels. I think it's like a one. If it does very well in the box office, maybe they'll keep on going with it. But it's a way of getting out there saying, "Hey, we did a movie. We're introducing new characters." I feel like it's going to be a secret person here we didn't expect to be in here. It's going to bring more attention to it. They're very strategic on what they do. But as far as like a young lady or a young girl who wants to get back into superhero movies, this is a good film. This is a great opportunity for them to actually go and watch it. And I think the cast showing the different variety of like of heritage and everything else, it's going to bring some nice views there. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that part.
Yeah, I just thought of a question. Since we're talking about how like the TV shows tie into the movies,
Yeah,
Secret Invasion comes out before the Marvels does. The Marvels comes out in November. Secret Invasion drops like soon.
we should talk about that next podcast.
Oh, we are most definitely going to talk about Secret Invasion because that looks incredible.
That's nuts. We will
That
talk
looks
about that
incredible.
really
We're not
soon.
talking about Secret Invasion today, but I bring it up because I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
how are the events of Secret Invasion going to play into where we see Nick Fury when this movie comes out? Because it comes out after Secret Invasion. So, who knows? Is this even the real Nick Fury or is it a scroll?
Yes, and that's the thing also. So like now, remember like the whole I need my sounds a certain way, and then he cut the corner. Like there's a lot so that like we can go back to like prior movies. Was that even Nick Fury there? So I want to
Mm-hmm.
see them unravel that and find out was he even a part of the Avengers movie? Like, was he already gone after Cap? Like, I want to know what happened, because I feel like there's no way you mention I eat my sandwich a certain way, and then you blatantly show him cutting the sandwich a different way, and there's no possible way that they didn't do that on purpose. So they're already thinking like 10 steps ahead. They're playing chess. So yeah, that's a good. We'll talk about that real soon.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for that. But I mean, the Marvels looks good. My favorite part in the trailer though was when Kamala Khan gets like transported to wherever Captain Marvel was, and she's like in that hallway, and the cat like like the tentacles come out, and like she has the same reaction I feel like any sensible person would in that moment. It's just like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on? She's terrified. Yeah, she's funny. She's gonna be really good. I'm really looking for. I enjoyed her in her TV show.
Yes.
She's got a great personality. I feel like she's gonna bounce off of Monica and Captain Marvel really, really well.
I feel like she's like the female Spider-Man and that generation of what they're going to try to do. They're just trying to make her like in the mix of it. Like, I'm not saying she's going to be at the pedestal of a Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah.
Like, she has strong as heck, but same time going to bring in like little lighthearted. I'm still a young kid learning with you big adults.
Right. I mean, she's a teenager, so I mean, she's got that going for her. Yeah.
But she's also a mutant.
She's also a mutant. Which I'm also excited to see like how they're going to. Because, I mean, think about it. They bought Fox years ago, right? They always knew that they were going to put X-Men in here at some point. So to make the decision to introduce that actual term mutant in a Miss Marvel TV show, not on a movie. So, like, there's obviously huge... Hold on, because I know where you're going. We're going to get there. She's obviously going to play a huge role in how... the mutants are brought into the MCU. But go ahead, because I know you want to get something off your chest.
Bro, what if they like bring the Phoenix in this way? I know it's like weird, but just mention the Phoenix Force. Not saying they had to bring the Jean Grey, but just mention it and them being out of space. Remember everything about that. What if they just mention something about how like the actual like Easter egg of the Phoenix? Because remember, it was a force itself in space.
I'm gonna say only because the last 2 times they did Phoenix on on the big screen was atrocious both times. Yes. So I don't think they're going to jump straight to Phoenix Force.
No, just showing the actual presence of like you're getting like Easter egg, like this is a mutant, there's a force out. Like I'm just saying, you can't name drop mutant in a TV show, then put her in a movie and not bring some kind of X-Men Easter egg into this whole thing.
Okay, well here's going to be my other thing. I thought you were going to go this angle with it. There's a really big, well-known X-Man person that has ties to Captain Marvel.
You really
she goes by the name of Rogue. Now, and I think this iteration of the X-Men, they're not going to give us that Anna Paquin nonsense. We're not going to get that. We're going to get Rogue, like X-Men the animated series Rogue. That's what we want. That's what we deserve.
Marvel cinematic heads, if you ever listen to this podcast, please slow roast it. Don't force X-Men. Slow roast it. Like, if you want to put a TV show for Gambit, you want to build up, just build it up. Like, you have so much. You can do a Nightcrawler TV show. It doesn't have to be a full season.
There's so much there with the X-Men. There's so much,
slow roast that. Pop
and I think they are. And I think they are. Yeah.
You bring Rogue in this, you're going to see. That might bring more people to watch everything. That's a good point, bro.
So I think, and so like I think just because like they mentioned her mutation in her TV show, I think in this movie, I don't think there's a scenario in which they don't at least touch on it again, because that's the only time we've ever actually heard the term mutant in the MCU.
Remember when they dropped the music at the end when they said you're a mutant?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm leaking, guys. But like, if you watch Khan's last episode, I'm sorry, but I was cast in the back. When they name drop and the music in the background changed,
I was like,
because I wasn't expecting that. I was not
expecting
either. That at all.
Yeah.
That was good. That was really good.
So I'm excited for that.
You know what? Maybe I'm gonna change my vote. Guardians might be last place now. I think Marvels might be above Guardians. Yeah, because now
just because of just like the implications for like what it may have like for the future. Like we know Guardians, like the stock is going down. Like we're almost done with them. You know what I mean? So
yes, I'm gonna flip it. So yeah, they're above the Guardians on this one.
yeah,
We're bringing the heat to that.
yeah. Well, that's enough MCU for one day. We're gonna
Yes.
jump over to DC because they had two really good trailers. One that we were totally not expecting. We'll get to that later. But first, I want to talk to you about Blue Beetle because I know you're a big Blue Beetle guy. What were your thoughts? I mean, because we had heard about Blue Beetle being in production, but we had only seen like random set photos here and there. And it was almost to me like one of those movies where it was like, oh, this movie's never going to see the light of day because it's Blue Beetle. Like most people don't even know who Blue Beetle is.
And that right there is going to be a win for DC. I know everyone says you want to know a little about history. With it being, they are going off the New 52 version of the Blue Beetle, which is freaking awesome. I personally believe this is the fresh start that DC needs. The fun, just exciting. It's just all the bad commotion with the prior DC movies, with the Flash, and how we're like, oh, we have to have a Flash movie. How we don't know what's going to happen with the Batman split verse. This character and how it's going to launch James Gunn's universe, because we thought it was going to get scrapped. Like we thought, oh, no one cares about it. It's just going to get scrapped. And we've seen a poster for a long time, but we saw like a couple of like still shots. We didn't think we were going to get a trailer. Then you got George Lopez in this one. He looks really funny in this whole entire thing.
His hair looks ridiculous, though.
He does. And just overall, like, even how the Scarab was like in a box and how the whole thing was so discovered. And it gives you the vibe of Miles Morales. Like, it gives you that type of vibe with the family, with a little bit of Iron Man type suit. When he split the bus, bro, when he showed the shield and went down the...
Yeah.
And then at the end, anything you think and you can imagine I can create, and they have the sword. What? You got me. I'm there. I am there.
Yeah, I think like it's clear, like looking at the trailer, like they spent the money it needed,
yes,
to make a live action Blue Beetle film. Because like you can't. I mean, again, like the suit told him, anything you can imagine, I can create. Right. So that's hard to do with like practical effects. You know what I mean? Like that's hard to like recreate. It's like I think that's ultimately like the really hard thing about doing like Green Lantern, is because they can just create whatever from their rings, right? So like it's tough to translate that to live action. You know what I mean? And obviously, you know, like you said, obviously there's a lot of like Iron Man influences with like the suit and like the heads up display. Which, you know, that's a conversation for another day, because I feel like what Iron Man did for just that medium of like having that kind of suit, because like everyone does it completely differently now because of what Iron Man did. So, you know, give credit where credit is due. So you mentioned about like Blue Beetle, the new 52 version, right? Of Jaime Reyes. But there's also Easter eggs in this trailer of the other version of Blue Beetle, which is Ted Kord.
You think they're going to do it?
I don't know. Well, so here's the thing, and this is where, like, for me, I'm like trying to like piece together some of the story from the trailer, because his sister, I'm forgetting her name, but obviously Kord Industries is in this trailer, and she says something along the lines of, "The Scarab chose you, but it belongs to me." So maybe Ted Kord had already been Blue Beetle in the past and lost the Scarab, or he died, or something like that. I don't know. And maybe that's why she feels like she should have the Scarab if her brother had it.
See, I don't get too much of the people. When you get a chance, I just do some research and Google Blue Beetle. He's actually a very fun character. Very, very fun. And the history of being like, he's not the first Blue Beetle, like Prince just said. It's multiple Blue Beetles. I think he's the third, if I'm correct. I think he's the third Blue Beetle. So them actually doing it that way and showing the bloodline of the family before, it shows the history. I'm expecting the Scarab to have, like, it has internal knowledge to actually just show him what happened to the previous owner, and then they'll go into like a background story. But this is something fresh. This is something that I think comic book fans needed. It's not the typical, oh, I know this story, I've seen the cartoon type thing. This is so neat, bro. Even when he
Yeah.
dropped down and like he was still trying to figure everything out, like almost like an Iron Man suit was in Iron Man 1, and then he floated above the water, and just the image of that and how like the artistry of everything that's going on, it's really cool. Like I
Yeah.
just wanted to watch this film. I'm looking forward to this film actually more than Flash. I am
No, you're not.
looking forward to it. I am.
No, you're not.
Because I know what the Flash is going to be. I know the ending of Flash. Like I just
see though.
Bro, we definitely know. On top of that, Flash, do we even know what's going to happen after Flash? They're going to do recasting the characters. Like so much, it feels like it's a lot of baggage with the Flash.
Oh, for sure. There's definitely a lot of baggage, but I think the main part for me, like why I'm super interested in seeing the Flash, is just the timing of it. Like we know that we are changing regimes at DC, and Flash is your in-house reset button.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see how they're going to close the door on the Snyderverse, like officially with this Flash movie, and how they're going to segue it into James Gunn's new universe.
I got that. I think Blue Beetle. I could be crazy about this. You know how Guardians was kind of different than everything else, Guardian Galaxy and Marvel, and fans took a favorite to it. They loved it. I think that's going to be DC's thing. I think Blue Beetle is going to be that. It's something where like I know Gotham, I know Metropolis, I know all those things. I expect what I expect out of that. Blue Beetle is something I don't know what I'm getting. I just want to watch it.
Right.
And Guardian Galaxy, we really didn't know what we were getting. We just knew it was going to be funny, entertaining, and we just want to see them do dumb, stupid stuff. And I think Blue Beetle is going to show that.
No, yeah, I agree with you. I think that's where DC can really get a win here because it's like you said, it's fresh and there's no pressure, right? It's like an eighth seed making it to the playoffs. It's just like we're not even really supposed to be here, so we just going to play free. You know what I mean? We don't have any pressure on us to do well or not do well. No one thought we would be here in the first place, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel about Blue Beetle, right? It's just like let's just have fun with it. Let's just see where it goes. It doesn't have to be tied to like anything like overarching. It doesn't have to be part of like. I mean, obviously, it is going to be part of a bigger universe, but it's not going to be, overtly given all these Easter eggs. What did you think about that? George Lopez's comment at the end when he calls Batman a fascist.
First of all, I love the jabs of Batman. I do because everyone looks at him as a big bad guy, and then I like it. I really appreciate it.
I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it is almost like and like it's funny, dude. It's like the funny family, and also showing culture. I feel like the comic book fandom is now showing real, like everybody can have their own hero and still feel like it's not taken away from somebody else. The world's changing, and these movies are displaying the change. So we wouldn't even think about this kind of movie being out 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Now it's like, well, why it take so long? And so having the Batman jabs and everything else, that's so freaking cool. I feel like it's going to continue on. I feel like Lopez is like the Ant-Man cast where they're going to have punchline and jokes throughout the entire movies.
Right.
But I wanted to ask you a question is, are you going to watch this movie in like an IMAX theater? I feel like this is like an IMAX type movie versus like
I don't know. I probably won't because I'm cheap and I want to pay the extra, however much it costs for IMAX. No, I don't think so. Like I feel like an IMAX, like in all seriousness, like an IMAX movie would be like, when I went to go see Avatar for the first time. You know what I mean? It was just like, all right, that's a movie where it's just like it's such a visual marvel that like you have to see it as best you can see it. Like you have to see it in its best form possible to really like appreciate it in its highest degree.
Gotcha, but I'm probably going to. That's how excited I am for this Blue Beetle. But the pressure's on. The clock is on now. If you're going to do a Blue Beetle film and it is successful, there's no reason why you cannot do a Cyborg film. They are pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same as far as makeup, as far as design, and actual putting it out there. The suits, everything else. If you can't tell me that you can do this, but you can't do a Cyborg film.
Well, remember, James Gunn said that this is chapter 1 of his universe. So everyone's not going to be. He's not doing everything.
Oh, I know, like down the road. But I'm saying, like, it gives me excitement because if you can do this with Blue Beetle, we will finally have a Cyborg film.
Right.
Because some films you always feel like you said with Green Lantern, you don't know how the CGI versus the suit, like how it will come off as far as like looking corny. Like you don't want to go and see that the dumb stuff.
Right.
This right here, it looked clean to me. And there are the trailers. I know some trailers are always altered, so you never really know what's really going to happen. Spider-Man, Marvel's always changed that. Like you don't know what's going to happen every single scene. But from what I saw, bro, it looks really good.
Yeah, no, it looks good, man. I'm excited for it. I'm definitely, like you said, I'm ready for something fresh. I'm ready for something that's like a little bit outside the box. Speaking of outside the box, probably our favorite trailer of the 4 that we're talking about today. We got a little teaser, if you will, of an announcement of production of the Penguin TV series that's coming on HBO Max next year. So all right, so I want to touch on a little bit about the trailer, but obviously there's a lot of news that like comes with it, and people talking about what the setting is, what the story is, stuff like that. And then we can speculate a little bit because I know we like to speculate about this stuff. So when after the Batman came out, at the end of the Batman, we see the Penguin standing in Carmine Falcone's office, just kind of looking out to the Gotham skyline, and you already know what he's thinking. All this is going to be mine soon. So apparently the Penguin TV series takes place about a week or two after the events of the Batman, right? So, which is so great because Gotham's in disarray, it's flooded. So like in the trailer, you even saw like, the FEMA truck. So they're probably coming in, helping with the flood and everything like that. I'm so excited to see the in-between of where Gotham City is at the end of the Batman and watching the Penguin become the real like kingpin of Gotham that we all know and love from the comics. I think it's, and like you see a lot of different characters. I think we're like, they've already casted Salvatore Maroni, which we know he's in jail right now. But I think we saw his wife. We saw Carmine's daughter, Sophia. I'm hoping that Alberto, his son, is going to make an appearance. I think that there's just so much that can happen because there's going to be a lot of like tugging for power because obviously Carmine Falcone is dead. Salvatore Maroni's in jail. So there's a power vacuum for the underworld in Gotham right now. And so I feel like this is going to be one of those shows, like you were saying earlier, like it gives you like Godfather Mafia kind of like feelings that I like in this trailer. So I'm so excited to see like how we're going to follow Penguin and watch him kind of like maneuver his way up the ladder.
In the trailer, it says the new kingpin of Gotham. It says it like right there what this man is trying to do. And if you didn't feel like the dark and the grayness and the HBO Max series and how the label's coming through the lines, like it just literally the production of this being a teaser. Yeah, I need this now. Like
I need it now. Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. When it said like coming 2024, I was just like, come on, they're making me wait a whole year.
Yeah, like come on, like you can't drop this now. We're talking about this, even though it's not coming out to next year because it was so freaking good. Like I personally think the vibe of this whole thing, and then how you connect it, how the Batman, you still have it 2 years later. So what happened in the Batman movie, it is relevant. It actually, you see the outcome. And most superhero movies / heroes, comic book characters, we always see hero villain. This right here is kind of like villain. It is literally going to get dirty. You're going to be, it makes you feel like you're watching The Sopranos, bro. Like even like what's Peaky Blinders? Like it's just like there's some things you just don't know. Okay, my rock Penguin, Falcone, like it's just so many the family, there's henchmen on each one, and then we're gonna have Mr. Freeze pop up in this, or we're gonna have other villains pop up in here that we don't know before we get to the big stage, or we're gonna see the first, like we mentioned, the Hush family inside the Batman. Is it gonna be like starting to see like little trickles of like these little like C-list, D-list villains for Batman, but are still better than most characters and villains of other TV shows? Popping this, the ventriloquist. Like, is it going to have like other people here that's going to make me feel like, yo, I want to see this on the big screen? Like, I want to see that character jump up.
Yeah, that's one of the things that has me most excited about this show is what other characters are we going to get? Like, they've already given us Sophia. We've heard about Alberto coming. We know Salvatore Maroni is going to be there. So not only just villains, but there's another wrinkle in here that I just thought about too when you were kind of talking about this. Um, Gotham's DA is dead. He died in the Batman. Gotham is without a district attorney. So
Yes.
are we gonna see Harvey Dent pre Two-Face in
I
this show?
tell you, that's what I'm saying. Like these so, and knowing that slow roast. I'm gonna say it again. We're gonna get the slow roast. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna just the actual knowing that like this could be season 1, and then the movies are happening. They're gonna eventually happen, but movies take time. So in the meantime, this is how you keep your audience interested. Knowing that I get to see someone that may not make the movie cutscene, but I'm gonna see him actually work, and we're gonna see brand new actors. I feel like the actors of late are showcasing their behinds off. They're bringing more than just the comic book characters. They're bringing like themselves in the character.
Right.
And man, the energy. This is gonna be dark.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I'm super excited. I'm super
Killer
excited
Croc.
for the Penguin.
We gonna get, or what we gonna do? Like you're gonna get like little. We gonna get little things.
I think we're definitely gonna get another Batman villain. I don't know who it's gonna be. I don't know. I mean, just from the teaser, it's gonna be more of the same as far as like the aesthetic, like the the grittiness, the realism. It's gonna feel like you said, like a Sopranos kind of show. So I don't know how much of like a chance like a Mr. Freeze has, but hearing that Clayface might be in the Batman too. Who knows? He might pop up in this. You know what I mean?
Like showing like the break. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Right. You know what I mean? Like villains like that. You never know. Hell, we might see smaller, pettier criminals. Like, what if we saw like a Tony Zuko?
That'd be nice.
You know what I mean? And those of you who don't know who Tony Zuko is, he was the mob guy who ultimately rigged the trapezes and had Dick Grayson's family killed. So it's just like stuff like that where I like you said, it's a slow roast, and I'm so grateful for the universe that Matt Reeves is being allowed to build in his own little pocket over there in DC, because he's going to give us so many good stories that otherwise wouldn't have a chance in a larger connected universe. Like I do feel like the Batman universe and like the Batman mythos can sometimes be a benefit when you don't have him with Justice League. When you can have more, like I feel like there's more things you can touch into when he's by himself over here. Like you can do Penguin series like this that you otherwise probably couldn't do in like a bigger, larger connected universe. So I'm excited for this one, man.
I people comment, let me know, share, let me know if I'm right or wrong about this, but I'm betting that I'm 100% right on this. I don't know anybody who's a Batman fan based off the Justice League and them growing up. They are Batman fans because of Batman and Gotham City and what he does in those alleys, what he does as far as his team building, detective work. That is why you love Batman. Not because he says himself, I'm not part of Justice League, I'm just here. Like you love
and he's
Batman
quit several times.
Yeah, that's not why you like Batman. So having the opportunity to explore Gotham and just world build with Gotham, it feels like I'm already gonna buy. Like this is how people always wanted. Like I feel like we have a collection of the Batman, and it's gonna start with a movie. It's gonna have a couple seasons. Next movie, a couple seasons following that. Conclusion. Like I feel like this is gonna be a collecting item that everyone's gonna want. And this is gonna be the blueprint for future films.
Yeah,
like I'm ready.
Yeah, no, you make a really good point about like us being able to grow a little bit more with Gotham City. Like Gotham City has its own character, right? Like I feel like we've never really had that opportunity to spend that much time in Gotham, and we still, like in past movies and like the Dark Knight trilogy, stuff like that. Like we still got a taste of what Gotham is like, but I think. Like you said, doing a slow roast for maybe like a 45-minute episode, 10 episodes, however long it's going to be, we're going to get so much more time seeing all the different parts of Gotham, like parts of Gotham City that are in the comics that we know. Like just seeing some more of maybe, Jim Gordon and kind of like the day-to-day of like the Gotham City Police Department and like how they're trying to deal with obviously the fallout of Carmine Falcone dying and, the city's half flooded, and of course you've got just complete lawlessness in places in the city where people just can't get to anymore because of the flood, right? So I'm really interested to see like that dynamic and seeing Gotham just like frankly descend further into chaos.
So, Black Mask, do you feel like he would pop up in a film like this? I mean, a show like this, like the Mad Hatter. Like, do you feel like he would pop up with something like this?
When Black Mask was my first guess, like way
Mm-hmm.
back when they announced this,
Yeah.
because they had already said it, it was going to take place right after the events of the Batman 2 or the Batman. Um, so I like the idea of like introducing a Black Mask
Mm-hmm.
character, just because I mean, it's they're all vying for power, right? Like Black Mask is cut from the same cloth as Penguin is. Like
Mm-hmm.
they all want the same thing. Black Mask, Penguin, Sophia Falcone, Salvatore Morone. They all want the same thing. So I would love to see kind of all these warring factions converge on each other in
Mm-hmm.
Gotham, especially while Gotham is like defenseless and kind of really, really in disarray. Yeah, so Black Mask, I would like to see him, and I feel like he fits
He
in
does.
this. He fits in this world, in this version of Gotham City that Matt Reeves has given us.
Like
Yeah.
your
So
antagonist and antagonist, like you have two of them. Like you literally can do that, and like
right.
also the flock of Riddler, like everything that Riddler did, and like the aftermath of what people were trying to, they were trying to body at Batman. So like, do you still have like lingering effects of that? Do
Hmm.
you, if they decide is Bane going to be introduced this kind of way, like starting to see like how the power and like you hear whispers of somebody over there with this muscle type, like it's just so much potential
So much
going this
potential.
way,
Yeah. Or like
and
someone even like small, like a Zaz. I think
yeah.
Zaz would be great in a show like this as
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a mob hitman enforcer kind of person. You know what I mean? Where that's who they send to send the message to people.
Yeah, I would love for this one to be like the first season be straight grounded, straight, no superpower type, just mob ties, like just battling out for turf and let everybody know, like, yo, I'm over here, you over there, you cross the line, you getting bodied. That's what happens. Like, just that's what I want. I
Yeah.
really
I
want
mean,
that.
and Penguin says that. I mean, that's kind of the I feel like the vibe of the whole show is going to be like that because he's
Mm-hmm.
talking to who I'm assuming is his little homie who he's kind of like taking under his wing, and he
Mm-hmm.
tells him, he says, "Look, you get out of line even once, I'll gut you like a goddamn fish." I'm just like, okay, this
Great
this
times,
is where we
bro.
are now. This is where we
Great
are now.
times.
But I
So,
I have one final question for you.
what's up?
Since it is a Batman spinoff TV show, chances
Mm-hmm.
we actually see Batman and or Bruce Wayne in this.
I'm going to say you may see Batman, but it won't be a face. It just be like someone extra with a suit type thing.
Right. Like
Um,
just like a
only
shadow. We'll only get like glimpses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you might see like the criminal hanged up on the back, tied up, and like you see his sign, let people know that he's still there and present. I don't say they're gonna bring him in there as in like an acting role. That'd be like a stunt double type thing. But I think that would be towards the end. I think just the fear of Batman and how they got to maneuver with him is the only thing that would be. What about you?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't think we're going to see Batman like we're not going to see Robert Pattinson in the full suit like he
Yeah, I
was
don't
in the
see
movie.
that.
I don't that's not going to happen.
Hmm.
Could we see Bruce Wayne? Could we see maybe something on TV about him being more philanthropic since Gotham's flooded and people have like recently been calling him out, like the new mayor was like, you're a recluse, dude. Like you don't do anything as far as I can tell. Like, your
Oh,
parents
word.
were really good, to Gotham, but you really haven't done anything besides beat criminals up at night. Um, and I think that's something that I think is a valuable like building piece like in this Batman universe is because in the Batman he doesn't care about his Bruce Wayne persona,
No.
right? And I
Hmm.
think this is part of his maturing into a better Batman is
Hmm.
realizing the things that Bruce Wayne can do for Batman, right? Like there are things, and we saw it in the Batman. There are places and things that Bruce Wayne can do that Batman can't do, and vice versa,
At all. At all.
right? I mean, he just walked right up to Carmine Falcone in his club because he's Bruce Wayne. People will
Yes.
let him in anywhere.
I, I feel like they're going to do more of the dark for. If they did do that, it'd be towards later in the season. I feel like the first couple episodes is going to be straight bloodbath. I think we're going to see the bodies drop. We're going to see like the real why Batman is the way Batman is and why Batman is needed for Gotham.
Right.
I think, like you said, the character of Gotham is going to be the main focus on this particular season growing in there. But overall, it's HBO Max. Like they have the funding and they have the all. It sounds like they're all on the same accord. So, yeah, those two right there could literally anything can happen.
Yeah.
And like previous time, like nah, money, contracts, but it's HBO Max, bro, and everybody's trying to get those funds. Yeah. So we got okay. Let me know right now. Between the four, we got the Penguin, we got the Marvels, we got Guardian Galaxy 3, and we have Blue Beetle. What's your favorite to the least?
Favorite, I'll say Penguin. Number 2, it's close, but based on what we talked about, mutants, just for the potential, I'm going with the Marvels, then Blue Beetle, and then Guardians.
It's funny you said that because we were talking prior, like, yo, Marvels, man, we don't really care. It's probably our least favorite. But we hype ourselves
all of a sudden, here I am talking myself into it.
It's freaking beautiful. I will flip it around a little bit. I actually have. I told you one. Yeah, it's tied between Blue Beetle and Penguin because Penguin's so far out, but the Blue Beetle for his movies. Then the Marvels and Guardians. I'm sorry, Guardians. I like, but yeah.
I think we're just again like you said earlier, we're just all ready for something fresh.
Yeah, they're done. Like, bring me Gladiator, bring me somebody else.
They're cooked. You know what I mean? They're cooked.
Told you, like that kid that got held back. They're like, yo, are you still here? Like, it's time for do summer school, bro. Get out of here.
They're cooked. They're cooked. But I mean, guys, let us know, your thoughts about the trailers. What are you guys most excited for? Obviously, there's a couple other trailers I know we didn't touch on, like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Secret Invasion episodes are dropping soon, so definitely check back for that. But yeah, I mean, it's what a time to be alive. It's gonna be a great summer. It's gonna be a great year for comic books and all the things nerddom. So
let's do that next. Like, let's do the ones we've missed. And Flash 2. When's Flash 2 drop? Well, next Flash.
Yeah, Flash is supposed to drop a new trailer soon too. So definitely keep an eye out for that stuff too, guys.
Yeah, maybe our fans keep an eye on that. If you got something out that we've missed and you guys said we should talk about it, let us know. We are up for anything, topics, share, like. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, comment. Let us know if we suck. Hopefully we don't.
We're still gonna do it.
Yeah. Totally fun. Yeah, but I mean, I've been Prince. Darron, it's a pleasure as always, bro.
Always, bro. Always. Peace and love.
We'll catch y'all next time.